Hi guys. Today we are going to discuss on the organizational structure, foundation of organizational structure. The question is, what is organizational structure? So organizational structure define how job or tasks are formally divided, grouped, and coordinated. There are 6 elements of organizational structure. The first one actually is work specialization. Second is departmentalization. Third, change of command. Fourth, span of control. Number 5, centralization and decentralization. And number 6 is formalization. Now we're going to move into each of these categories. What is work specialization? Now, Henry Ford became rich and famous by building automobiles on an assembly line or plant, demonstrating that work can be performed more effectively and efficiently by using a work specialization strategy. What happened was that every Ford worker was assigned a specific and repetitive task. By dividing jobs into small standardized tasks, Henry Ford was able to produce cars at the rate of 1 every 10 seconds, while using employees who have relatively limited skills. So work specialization or division of labor describe the degree to which activities in the organization are subdivided into separate jobs. In essence, an entire job is broken into a number of steps, each completed by a separate individuals. By the 1960s, there became increasingly evidence that a good thing can be carried too far. The human diseconomies from specialization that create boredom, fatigue, stress, low productivity, poor quality, increased absenteeism, and high turnover have offset the economic advantage. In such cases, enlarging the scope of work of the individual could increase productivity because people are becoming boring with their repetitive tasks. Most managers today recognize the economy's specialization provide a certain job and the problem when it's carried too far. It is a problem when we carry it too far. High work specialization help fast food restaurants like McDonald's make and sell burgers and fries efficiently and aid medical specialists in most health maintenance organizations. Amazon mechanical program, top coder, and other like it have facilitates a new trend in micro specialization or e-lancing or crowdsourcing, which extremely small pieces of programming, data processing, or evaluation tasks are delegated to a global network of individuals by a program manager who then assemble the end result. Okay? These emerging trends suggest that there still may be advantage of using a specialization in day-to-day processes. Whereas specialization of yesteryears historically focused on breaking manufacturing tasks into specific duties within the same plant. Today's specialization break complex tasks into specific elements by technologies, by expertise, and often it is implemented globally. Now, second one is departmentalization. Now, grouping job together so that common tasks can be coordinated together is called departmentalization. One of the most popular way to group activities is by function performed. For example, a manufacturing manager might organize a plant by separating engineering, accounting, human resource, processes into a common department. The advantage to this type of grouping is obtaining efficiencies from putting specialists that focus on similar areas work together. Tasks can be tasks can also be departmentalized by the type of product or service that the organization produce. Example, Procter & Gamble recently reorganized along this line. Yeah, each major product, such as Pampers, Pringles, will be placed under the authority of an executive who will have complete global responsibility for that product. Now, the major advantage of this type of grouping is increased accountability for product and performance under a single manager. Another way of departmentalization is on the basis of geography or territory. Sales function, for example, may have Eastern, Southern, North, West is Malaysia, or something like that. It is regional. Process departmentalization can be used for processing customer as well as product. For example, at the JPJ, you might find different department looking into validation of motor vehicle licenses. Then payment of summon. One department is about renewing licenses. Now, a final category of departmentalization is by type of customer. For example, Microsoft has recently reorganized around 4 customer markets. Yeah, they focus on consumer group, large corporations, software developers, and small businesses. Now, that is on the departmentalization. Number 4 is change of command. Yeah, the chain of command was once a basic cornerstone in the design of the organization. However, it is far less important today. The chain of command is an unbroken line of authority that extends from the top of the organization to the lowest staff and clarify who report to whom. 2 complementary concepts, authority and unity of command. There are 2 complementary concepts, authority and unity of command. Authority, the right inherent to management, the right for management to give orders and expect that order to be obeyed, to be followed. That is authority. Then you have the unity of command, the principle that helps preserve the concept of line of authority. It states that a person should have only one superior to which he is directly responsible to. Now, time has changed, and so do the basic tenet of organizational design. The concept of change of command have less relevant today because of technology and the trend of empowering employees. A low-level employees today can access information in seconds that a generation many years ago was only available to the top managers. Operating employees are empowered to make decisions previously reserved for management because of the data and knowledge that they have. Adding to the popularity of self-management and cross-functional team processes, the creation of new structural design that include multiple bosses. And you can see why authority and unity of command nowadays are less relevant. Many organizations still find they can be most productive by enforcing the chain of command. Indeed, there's one survey of more than 1,000 managers found that 59% of them agreed with the statement that there is an imaginary line in my company organization chart. Strategy is created by the people above this line, while strategy is executed by the people below the line. However, this same survey found that the buying in the organization strategy by lower level employees was inhibited by too much reliance on the hierarchy for decision making. So that is on the change of command. The next one, number 5, is span of control. The question of how many employees a manager can manage effectively and efficiently. Putting things, the wider or the larger the span of control, the more efficient the organization. Okay? The wider span are more efficient in terms of cost. However, at some point, wider span reduce effectiveness increase efficiency, but it might reduce effectiveness. Narrow or small span have their advocates. By keeping the span of control to 5 or 6 people, a manager can maintain close control. Narrow span have 3 major drawbacks, however. First, as already discussed, they are expensive because they add new level of management, which will at the end of the day, you need to pay more salary. Second, they make vertical communication in the organization more complex because of the level of hierarchy. Third, narrow span of control encourage overly tight supervision or micromanaging, and this will discourage employee autonomy. The trend in recent years has been toward wider span of control. Wider span of control are consistent with the recent effort by companies to reduce costs, cut overhead, speed up decision-making time, increase flexibility, and get closer to customer and empower the employees. To ensure that performance does not suffer because of the wider span, organization has been investing heavily in employees training. Yeah. Number 6, centralization and decentralization. Yeah. Centralization refer to the degree to which decision making is concentrated at a single point of organization. In centralized organization, top managers make all the decision and low-level managers carry out their directive. Yeah. In organization at the other extreme, decentralized decision-making is pushed down to the manager closest to the action. The concept of centralization includes only formal authority, that is the right inherent in a position. An organization categorized by centralization is inherently different structurally from one that is decentralized. A decentralized organization can act more quickly to solve problems. More people provide input into the decision, and employees are less likely to feel alienated from those who make decisions that affect their work life. Management effort to make organization more flexible and responsive have produced a recent trend toward decentralization decision-making by lower-level managers who are closer to the action and typically have more detailed knowledge about the problem than the top managers. So when, as an example, Procter & Gamble empowers small group of employees to make many decisions about new product development independent of your usual hierarchy. It was able to rapidly increase the proportion of new product ready for market. Yeah. Research investigating a large number of Finnish country, Finland, organization demonstrate that companies with decentralized R&D offices in multiple locations were better at producing innovation than companies that centralize all research and development in a single office. However, sometimes decentralization can be a double-edged sword. One study of nearly 3,000 Air Force officers suggests that there can sometimes be negative effect of decentralization in organization with a multi-team system, including excessive risk-seeking and coordination efforts. The next one is formalization. Formalization refers to the degree to which job within the organization is standardized. A highly formalized job gives the job incumbent a minimum amount of discretion over what is to be done and when it is to be done and how or he should do it. Employees can be expected always to handle the same input in exactly the same way. So they are, however, the concept of low formalization, job behavior, where job behavior are relatively non-programmed and employees have a great deal of freedom to exercise discretion in their work. Now, the degree of formalization can vary widely between organization and other organization. Yeah. Then the last one is actually the boundary spanning. Yeah. Now, we have described the ways that organization create well-defined task structure and change a chain of command or chain of authority. This system facilitates control and coordination for specific tasks. But if there is too much division within the organization, attempt to coordinate across the group can be challenging and be disastrous. One way to overcome this sense of compartmentalization and retain the benefit of structure is to encourage or create boundary spanning roles. Within a single organization, boundary spanning can occur when individuals form relationship with people outside of their formally assigned group. Boundary spanning activities occur not only within but also within organization, but also between organizations. Positive results are especially strong in organizations that encourage extensive internal communication. In other words, external boundary spanning is more effective when it is followed up with internal boundary spanning. In addition, a research on 225 manufacturing distributor in China suggested that although ties between salesperson and buyer across organizations are linked with greater relationship quality between two organizations than ties between executive across organization, when they are strong relationship between executive and employees, they may be cooperation and better conflict resolution. Organization can use formal mechanism to facilitate boundary spanning activities. One method is to assign formal liaison roles or develop committees of individuals from different areas of organization. Development activities can also facilitate boundary spanning. Employees with experience in multiple functions, such as accounting and marketing, are more likely to engage in boundary spanning. Many organizations try to set the stage for this sort of positive relationship by creating job rotation program, so new hires can get better sense of different areas in the organization. A final method of encouraging boundary spanning is to bring attention to the overall organizational concept, such as efficiency and innovation, and the concept of shared identity concept. So that is actually the first lecture on the organizational structure. And we will actually come out with the second lecture later on.